What's up, you guys? Sam here with a new video today, and we're here to talk about what the September 2018 ban list missed. Of course, I'm going to have the ban list in front of us, and, just kind of as a point of reference, but I posted in the community tab asking you guys what you felt they missed. We're just going to go over some of the basic stuff. We're going to start with where they, started with the ban card, the limited, semi-limited, etc. We're just going to talk about the things they missed, because I know a lot of people like the list. I think more people were happy that we get a list before the 200th YCS with kind of just ignoring what was actually hit. And I feel that that's where, this video will kind of just like clear some of the light, because I feel a lot of cards were not addressed. Certain decks were not addressed. Certain decks just got off completely scot-free. So I think that's kind of crazy. But without further ado, we'll get into it. Before we do, though, if you guys could just be sure to show your support by smashing that like button. 50 plus likes would be awesome, just to let me know that you guys enjoy the content I provide. So we're going to get into it. So one of the things a lot of people were saying, believe it or not, at the start of the list, they wanted to see Astrograph Sorcerer back. I know, you guys are thinking, like, what? Like, pendulums are pendulums, you guys. They hit Electromite. We knew it was going to happen. I don't think Astrograph was going to come back that quick. And I say that because even though I thought maybe it could come back, a lot of people made it clear that maybe it shouldn't. And the reason is because of Electromite. Well, when you think about it, if we have one Electromite and one Astrograph, I mean, at least that's better than one Electromite, no Astrograph. So could the card have come back? I guess so, since Electromite got hit. Without the 3 Electromites, I feel the consistency is not there like it used to be. Steven, of course, will prove us all wrong. I know nothing about pendulums compared to him, but I feel that if they brought back one Astrograph Sorcerer, do you think it would make pendulums competitive? I don't really know, to be honest. I can't give you guys an honest answer. But I thought that was pretty crazy. Another thing, I'm just going to clear these up because I think these things needed to be addressed. People thought Maxx C could come back. I wanted it to, you guys. Trust me, I really wanted it to, but you needed to understand that it couldn't come back at 1, it couldn't come back at 2. If the card was to come back, it had to come back at 3 like it is in Japan, because it can't be one of those, oh, I drew my powerful one-of card that stops you. It can't be that way. And the thing is that I feel that Maxx C coming back would have put Goki in check. Now, granted, they think the way they handled Goki put it in check. We'll talk about that more as the video progresses. But yeah, Maxx C was another card people thought would come back. It didn't happen. So that was just clear that up, because those were some of the most common things that you guys basically talked about. So on to other things. With them bringing Morphing Jar back, I'm basically going down the list, because with them bringing Morphing Jar back, I mean, it's whatever, to be honest. I'm not that, crazy about Morphing Jar. I know everyone's thinking, oh man, Danger Dark Worlds, Danger BA, all these things. Oh, it's a draw card. Thing is, Morphing Jar, I mean, same thing. Same rules apply to Morphing Jar that have happened before. The card can be ashed, the card can be outed, and I mean, yeah, it does grant a player a new hand, but it's both players. That's the same thing with card destruction. Bringing card destruction back, I think, was actually a mistake. I think a lot of people are going to realize that. I think Farfa really brought up a good point in his video when he was going over the list. It's kind of a mistake to bring that card back like it was Snatch Steal, and I know they're two completely different cards. When you think about it, card destruction grants a player a new hand. It does it for both players, and it can be the difference between winning and losing. I completely understand that. I guess Morphing Jar could be the same thing, except Morphing Jar is slow since you have to set it. However, the thing is that I feel like it's just one of those cards that is going to be problematic in the format. And I say that because it could be basically like a 4/3 incarnation. And I say that because that plus Lycoris is a lot of extra burn damage. And that's something that, Trickstars didn't need. No, don't worry, we're getting into Trickstars on this list. But yeah, I feel like that was definitely a mistake. I think card destruction coming back, I mean, it's cool. I got excited. I instantly thought of Dark Worlds, as did many people, but I feel like it was actually a mistake to bring that card back. And again, I'm indifferent about a Morphing Jar. I really don't care, to be honest. That, it was random. I didn't see that coming at all. I thought Morphing Jar would be banned for a long time, but I clearly did not know anything because they brought that card back. But we're going to talk about more so the cards they did ban. So they banned 3 cards. They banned, of course, the one and only Nightmare Goblin and the Lotus thing. So the Lotus thing, real quick, that has to do, I didn't know what it had to do with, but it had to do with this infinite loop where they could burn you for 200 over and over and over again. So because of that, they limited that. They banned that. I'm glad they did. We don't need any degenerate loops, any more degenerate loops and OTKs, FTKs in this game. So 100% on board with that. I actually was not clear as to why they hit that card, so it's whatever. Now, Goblin. Now, here's the thing. Everyone is saying, did they fix the Goki problem? And the thing is, they hit Nightmare Goblin and they hit Invoker. Does that fix the Goki problem? It does not. And I feel that that's where the real miss was. Now, here is the problem, you guys. They weren't going to touch Firewall. They weren't going to touch Firewall because, again, it's an anime card. It's a protagonist's main card. And because of that, they're not going to touch it. It's, it's Konami. It's anime. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! It's, they're not going to touch it. It would be like banning Dark Magician or Blue Eyes. They're just not going to do it. And I feel that in their eyes, this was the way to handle it. Now, what I felt people brought up is a very good point. Well, they did hit Goblin and they did hit Invoker. Those are good hits, very good hits. I'm not going to say they're not. I think Goblin, absolutely. Very good call to hit Goblin. That card's very problematic being an extra normal summon. And also the locks it creates with co-linking monsters. Invoker, very good call again because it's what starts the Goki combos when they're spamming their level 3s. The other card people says they could have hit was the Phoenix Blade. And they say that because think about it, you guys. You may not have Goblin, but you still have Phoenix, you still have Cerebus, you still have Unicorn, you still have Mermaid. If you even play Griffin, I don't know if they play Griffin, but you have all these cards, and Phoenix Blade is your infinite discard for your Nightmares, and it lets you get those free draws. It lets you get that advantage and just keep drawing into more and more crazy cards. Would that have put the Goki deck in check? I think it might have put the Goki deck in check a little bit more. I think that was a card they might have missed. Now, the thing is, that card's been around since like the beginning of the game, so it's really hard to say if that would have been a fair hit. A lot of people are on the fence and say, oh, I guess, but if you think of all the equips, the Divine Phoenix Sword Blade really is probably the best card they could have hit. It would have been crazy to ban it, but I mean, I've seen crazier things, so I feel that they didn't fully solve the Goki problem. And people are saying hit Isolde. No. Noble Knights need a card. Generic hero decks and warrior decks need a card. You can't hit Isolde. That's just honestly not fair. That's taking away a utility card that those decks needed. So I feel that could have been something more they could have done for the Goki deck because honestly, they can still extra link you. They have to go a different route, but trust me, smart players will figure it out. It's still a good deck, and it's definitely still going to be probably one of the best decks, easily one of the best decks in this new format. So that's touching all the things that were banned. Now, was there any other cards that should have been banned? People were saying Firewall. Of course, they couldn't touch Firewall, you guys. I already mentioned that. Other cards they were saying that could have been banned, they should have banned. I've heard some crazy things like Gunblar Dragon. I've heard like just some crazy, I think these were just like fan service cards. They wanted these cards hit because they would just cause so many problems. And honestly, I'm not one to ban cards if I feel they're not a problem. Now, we all know Firewall was the problem, but you couldn't do anything about it. Other cards people were saying, when we get to like the cards that were limited to one, we'll scroll down a little bit just as reference for those of you, in case some of you haven't seen the list. I mean, I could be wrong, but A Assault Core. So A Assault Core, here's the thing. It's because of the Cannon Soldier loop. Now, I take it back. There was one card that should have been banned, and it was Cannon Soldier. If you guys remember my prediction list, I said Cannon Soldier and Toon Cannon Soldier and any kind of Cannon Soldier because they do the same thing. That plus A is like an infinite burn combo with Firewalls. You can't hit Firewall. You could have hit Cannon Soldier because no one is playing freaking Cannon Soldier, and they could have hit that. Instead, they decide to hit A Assault Course, and now ABC suffers. If you at all banish that one A, they're never going to be able to summon Buster Dragon. That sucks. I'm not a huge fan of ABC, but I feel for the ABC players who lost their deck when this list goes into effect on the 17th. That really sucked. They really missed the ace card, which was Cannon Soldier or any form of Cannon Soldier. Hitting A Assault Core really hurts the ABC players, and I'm actually not about that, so that was a huge mistake on their part. And of course, Stratos back. I'm all for it. Honestly, I think Stratos could be back at more than one, but that's just a personal opinion. I'm not going to go any further than that. Yeah, Morphine Jar to 1. Already talked about it. Don't really care about it. Electromite to 1. Again, Pendulums. It is what it is. I can't say anything about it. Omega. Here's the thing with Omega. I feel that was just a huge misfire. And I say that because Omega hasn't been spammed in a while. We don't play the 60-card deck anymore. We don't play anything that really, does anything like that. So I feel that was honestly just a misguided hit. Sure, you can call it a good hit. Do I think it was... Now is the time? Absolutely not. They should have taken care of this card a long time ago. Letting us play with 3 Omegas for so long is crazy. So, again, I don't think that was a great hit at all. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think you guys are going to notice, like, it is what it is what a ban list really comes down to. We, unfortunately, as the players, we don't have a say in the ban list. We think we do. We don't. At the end of the day, Konami makes a list. Another card was Evilsworn Exciton Knight. Yes, the card came back. Now, here's the thing. It's not going to do anything. And the reason I said this is because... Unfortunately, we're in a phase of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where rank 4 decks they don't exist. We're not playing Minerva Sworn. We're not playing rank 4 decks. Like, the only deck I think that I could honestly make this is ABC. And guess what? You butchered ABC. So by doing that, that was a total misfire again. Exciton Knight coming back. We wanted it back for so long. Going second cards are great, but no one plays a rank 4 deck. And I'm sure there's going to be commenters that say, oh, I do. Congratulations. But let's face it. It's been way too long that Exciton Knight's been gone, and now that it comes back, it really makes no difference. So, again, I felt that that was a misfire. Card destruction I already talked about. I feel it's going to be a problem in the format somewhere down the line. Hornet Drones. This was the correct hit. Not going to sit here and say that I didn't see this coming. I predicted it on the list. I personally wish it didn't happen because of the deck I'm playing. You guys already know with my Mech Knight Invoke deck with the strikers, the Hornet Drones are great, but we're going to improvise. We're going to put in other striker cards. We have cards like Widow Anchor. We have cards like Afterburners, Jamming Waves, etc. And you have the ability to recycle the Hornet Drones with Kagari. So even with one Hornet Drones, in reality, with 3 engage, you have 4 copies. With Kagari, you have a 5th copy. So the card's not done when it's only at 1. So definitely a good hit. They needed to do it because Hornet Drones is insane. Anything that produces tokens is insane. Now, Super Poly. Where do I begin with Super Poly? I'm on the fence about this one. I think it's great that I can play in a Mech Knight Invoked. I'm so excited to play in Mech Knight Invoked. You don't even know. There are so many more OTKs coming besides Book of the Law because of Super Poly, and also with hero decks. Completely out of left field to see Super Poly come back. I think the problem, though, is that this is a spell speed 4, and those cards are unhealthy for the game because you can't even respond to it. So I think we're going to have a lot of problems with Super Poly being in the game. See, the biggest thing, though, with it, though, is with it only being at 1 copy, you can't really search it, so that's not a bad thing. At least with most decks. I'm sure there's decks that can search it, but I'm saying at least with our decks, you kind of have to hard draw it, so kind of interesting what Super Poly will do. I don't actually know if that was a mistake. I think that kind of just spices up the format. But anyways, on other cards. Cards I put to 2, Dark Destroyer, Cosmos will maybe do something. Call by the Grave, that one kind of threw me for a loop because the card's so new, but I guess because everyone was playing it. But my friend brought up a good point. Why touch a card that stops hand traps when you could have possibly just hit the hand traps? And when I say hit the hand traps, I mean they could have addressed Ash to 2 like OCG does. They could have hit Joel and Lockbird because of Joel Reincarnation. None of that was done, but instead you hit Called by the Grave, so now it's going to be easier to play your hand traps. So I'm kind of scratching my head wondering if that really was a good call. Limiter removal to 2, great. Cyber Dragons are just going to OTK even more because it doesn't double. They stack. For those of you that don't know, the limiter removal stack, so you get destroyed for a babillion. So yeah. Scapegoat to 2, this card should have gone to 1. That was a huge mistake. Definitely should have gone to 1 or none. This card is so ridiculous, especially in Trick Stars. It just is game. It's like their auto win button, and I think most decks shouldn't have an auto win button. So we all agreed that token producers are a problem for the game, and that's the best one. So 2 copies, yeah, they're not going to see it as much, but they're still going to see it. Same with Terraforming. Again, you put down the consistency a little bit of Trick Stars, but if you think those are the proper hits of Trick Stars, you are dead wrong. We're going to get into the problem right here. Trick Stars wasn't addressed. You didn't hit Joel and Lockbird at all. You didn't hit Reincarnation at all. You could have put Reincarnation to 1. You could have hit Joel and Lockbird. I'm not a fan for hitting hand traps, but honestly, that's what you guys said. You guys in the comments were saying you should have hit Joel because of Joel Reincarnation. You could have hit Reincarnation, same thing. Hitting Reincarnation to 1 would have meant that you wouldn't see it enough. You might get it off maybe 1 every 10 games, if that. And honestly, that would have been fine. People are saying, no, we need our generic Monster Reborn and Trick Stars. No, you don't. You have enough burn damage. I feel like Trick Stars getting unscathed with this new time rule is a real problem, and I think that's something that a lot of you will agree with. This time rule is insane, and Trick Stars abuse the crap out of the deck, so I feel that that's going to be a problem. Yes, you put Terraforming to 2. Yes, we're not going to have Light Stage as much, but you still have 5 copies of Light Stage, and even more with Candina. So, I mean, it's just... yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking by not touching Trickstar. Another deck that they didn't touch. They didn't touch Altergeist. Like, what the hell? Like, okay, I know Altergeist haven't done a ton, but the fact that their deck is 100% intact, like, they didn't even touch Multi-Faker. They didn't even touch Molaseek. People were saying, why don't you just put Molaseek to 2 or 1? Like, do something to the deck. Something to lower the consistency. The deck got several tops last format, and I feel this format is going to get even more because anti-meta decks are powerful, whether you want to believe it or not. So I don't know. I don't know where they were thinking when they didn't hit Trickstar and they didn't hit Altergeist and Draco. Like, you leave those decks all unscathed. People are saying, oh, they hit Terraforming. No, we run 2 Terraforming in Draco. Everyone's seen the list now. No one runs 3 Terraforming. You run 2 because opening multiple diagrams sucks. That's all you hit in the deck. There's still 3 Demise. There's still 3 Duality. There's still, all those cards that make the deck insane. So I don't know what they were thinking. Those were decks that didn't even get touched. And then on to just the cards that came back. Towers, no one cares. Disc Commander got a terrible errata. Burial from a Different Dimension, I think, is kind of cool because you can do things with zombies and just banish decks. And Ring of Destruction, I mean, it's just a burn card. Overall, though, I feel the list did a couple things. It did fan service. It brought Stratos back. That's awesome. It made, just other people think that decks get another chance. People are going to think Card Destruction being back is going to make Dark Worlds and Dangers amazing. It's a one-of that can be ashed. Think about that. There's so many things that, they could have done. They could have done so much more. They could have addressed Goki more. They could have at least done something to Trickstars and Draco and, Altergeist. Like, yes, I know they're not the best decks, but now you're going to see even more of them. And I feel that that's going to be a problem, and people are going to complain because Droll Reincarnation is a hell of a drug. Like, it really, literally can just be the end of the game. And I feel they missed a lot of things. I want to know what you guys think in the comments below, though. What do you feel Konami missed on this list? And don't say Firewall. We know Firewall. They should have hit Firewall, damn it. We know it, but they couldn't, so they did it. They hit Goblin. Goblin, good hit. Firewall should have been hit, but Goblin's a good hit, I guess. But I want to know in the comments below what you guys think. What did Konami miss on this ban list? What are cards you wish would have gotten hit? What are cards you wish would have came back, and why? I feel that, yes, this list does give us, a new format to play in for the 200th, but I feel like there's going to be some casualties because of this. And I'll say the best thing about this list is that Stratos came back, so I'm all for that. But what do you guys think they missed on this ban list? Where do you think they went wrong? And again, if you enjoy the discussion, be sure to leave a like. 50 plus likes would be awesome. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, if you want to see more discussions like this, just let me know. These are cards that they missed on the ban list. Just my personal thoughts of the overall ban list. I'm happy we have a ban list. I'm happy that we have a new format for the 200th, but I feel that there were obviously some mistakes made on this list, as there are every ban list. You're never going to get a perfect ban list. But anyways, I'd like to know what you guys think. Just let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.